So we're seeing a little bit of a short-term pullback within the crypto market. This is following the hype around the meme coin sector yesterday. If you have a look at this on the daily, most of the coins here, a little bit of profit taking occurring. But if you go to the trending coins over here, well, you can see a lot of rotations are going into other memes and they are popping off in a big way. Look at that, Moodeng up literally 102% just for the day alone. So in today's show, we're going to have a look at some of the top performing memes. We're going to have a look at this meme coin super cycle theory, which we've actually spoken about for many months. I think as early as about January last year, I pretty much went heavily into the memes, and I told you I'll let you know when it's time to turn it back up, right? To turn the heat back up and start to aggressively begin bidding those memes once again. And if you are in whale room, well, we've already spoken about this quite a lot, because if you look at this over here from Josh the Navigator, taking a leverage long trade, what a degen. Leverage long trades on PopCat all the way up for 1,000% profits. And you have a lot of traders in the group over here already paying for 6 month subscriptions just with one trade alone. So if you're not already in that group, please do make sure to jump in, because I can absolutely unequivocally 100% guarantee you that the prices are going to be going up drastically for whale room. We've offered a lot of value over there for a long time at a very fair rate. So if you do want to join, the time to join would be now, because that price will be locked in. So if you go through to whale room over there, there's the link, click that, make sure you jump in. Now, if we look at what's happening on the 24-hour rec charts over here, how many liquidations have we seen? 220 million. Remember, we always speak about that $250 to $400 million mark in a 24-hour period is usually where you start to form a strong range, and then you might start to see a bit of a reversal occur within the markets. Well, if you look at this over here and you actually focus on the majority of the liquidations, you can see a lot of them are over leveraged on meme coins, right? So a lot of these in this section over here, this entire section really on the right hand side, the majority of those long liquidations, which is 153 million, actually seems to have come from the meme coin sector. So as things begin to heat up, the advice to you would be to build very low leverage long positions, somewhere around 1.5 to 3x longs. Have enough capital in the account so as not to get liquidated. Try and use a stop loss. I know that sounds like a mystery to many of you, but at least attempt to use a stop loss when it comes to your trades. And better yet, just focus on spot trading, right? You don't need to be over leveraged. You can see over here a lot of the market opening up leverage longs on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on Solana going slightly negative, so a little bit of shorts coming in. Near still positive over there, WIF still positive, and then Pepe flipping into negative. So people, of course, profit taking and even attempting to short that. That's another bit of advice, right? As we move into this meme coin super cycle, as the market begins to break out, I would recommend not trying to short every what you think may be a top within the market, right? Absorption typically occurs very quickly, and ultimately you will end up getting wrecked. So we're going to have a look at a whole lot of the coins. We're going to have a look at why you should be in meme coins and why this is not going to go away anytime soon, right? I was never one of the people to call for the end of the meme coin cycle, but more just a pause. And I told you, I'll let you know when to turn it back up. And I think that we fast approaching that time where it is time to turn it back up pretty heavy on the meme coin sector. So fear and greed back down to 49 over there, looking at a bit of a reset. And then we have to focus on the stock market, right? Stock market pulling back ever so slightly, but when in doubt, zoom out. Remember, we're still following the longer term plan, which is pretty much 14 years of up only for the stock market, followed by a couple of years of down, more or less 4 years of down to find some sort of a bottom. And then the 18.6-year real estate cycle begins all over again, which translates really nicely into the S&P 500, right? And you can see over here, lining that up specifically with the election phases. Anytime we've had a major election, the time period leading into that election and following that election period, we tend to see prices rally, right? There it is. You had the Obama eras up only, right? Trump era up only, Biden era, not much up only, but got a little bit of up only, then came down, and now we've been rallying ever since that point. And we're only 4 weeks away, right? 4 weeks away from the next part of the cycle. Zooming into the S&P 500 over here, you can see the prior top over here, which is your breakout level. You might be coming back to that to test the support. That's going to be the $5,663 region. It's pretty easy to mark out the areas of support, right? So if you just use your Fibonacci Fibonacci tool from the bottom and you rise that or raise that all the way to the top, you have to have a confirmed local top to prove that that is actually going to be the significant level. Then your levels of interest are the 0.382 and the 0.5 in a bull market. So for the S&P 500, if you lose the range high, the yellow line over there, look down to the orange one, that's coming in at 5,558. And if you lose that one, then the next major area is going to be 5,475. So remember, in trading, in markets, it works level to level. These ultimately just create different zones where you could allocate, right? So first you're looking for a reaction off there. If the reaction doesn't come, then you're looking for the reaction there. If the reaction doesn't come, you're looking at for over there. And then the worst case scenario is all the way back down to the bottom of the range, which would be unlikely, right? Unlikely to occur into the election phase. And the reason why is this, right? Jason says over here, 4 weeks until the US election takes place. If we use a starting point of 4 weeks before the election, and then we use an ending point of 4 weeks after the election phase, then this is what we've typically seen for Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin rised or gained an average of 48% from the low price to the high price within that time period. In 2020, we had an even bigger gain due to the M2 money supply rising, due to quantitative easing and stimulus checks all around the world. It actually went up 89%. 2016 and 2012, it was 28%. So let's look at, let's say, more the average between 28 and 48%. Where would that take Bitcoin? Well, if we look over here, 28% would take Bitcoin to $79,845, which is, you know, still breaking into new all-time highs. And it depends how that candle closes to determine whether we'll have continuation. And if you do the 48% move, that takes you to $92,181. And then again, we can gauge price action from that point. But the real question you have to ask yourself is, if Bitcoin does actually go up, you know, between 28 and 48%, what does that mean for the meme coins? What does that mean for the other sectors within crypto? AI, meme coins, some of the layer ones, you know, stronger picks that we've been looking at in terms of our portfolio, which has dropped in whale room. Well, that means much, much, much higher prices on those asset classes. And we're still looking to flip this major level of resistance into support. And so far, I would say that's exactly what's occurring, right? This is currently being flipped into support. And therefore, we're looking for continuation and higher prices. Now, again, going back to this, statistically, the average of 48% takes you just shy of $100,000 into that 92K region. Remember, you have the cup and handle formation, the measured move of that cup, right, which you take all the way from the bottom to the neckline or the breakout level of the cup, would give you a price target of $107,180. But it depends when you do actually break out, right? So maybe it is a little bit lower. It depends. Maybe this handle does continue down a little bit further, and at which point then it becomes, you know, 106,000, give or take. It's all more or less the same target in the sense that you're looking at higher prices to come, which means that your altcoins will do really, really well. So we do need to gauge things because, of course, there's a few things that can ruin the party, which we'll get to into a moment. You know, things like a hard landing. It depends on what the Fed does. Remember, they're going to be announcing the CPI inflation data, which is coming out on Thursday. They use that to determine how much they should raise, cut, or leave the interest rates at in the next FOMC meeting. And depending on what they do over there, that will affect whether there's going to be a hard or soft landing. Now, following a period of long-term rises in interest rates or raising the interest rate, when they eventually do start to cut, you are going to get some form of a landing. Of course, the market hopes for a soft landing. What would a soft landing look like for Bitcoin? Well, this would be it, right? It would be the end of the move over here to the downside. The consolidation would be over, and that would be a soft landing. Flip this into support and continue onwards and upwards, right? A hard landing would, of course, be, you know, some form of a crash where maybe you sweep below that order block down to the $40,000 region. But as it currently stands, remember, we played level to level, and we're looking at the chart each and every single day. And what we can see over here is we're above the 21 weekly exponential moving average. It is still rising, and we followed a very long consolidation in the form of lower lows and lower highs, a downtrend in the short term, but higher time frame. It's just been a consolidation after a big move up. You do expect price would correct following these big types of moves, and we have created our first higher high, and we're waiting for the higher low right now. So What are the legendary Bitfinex whales doing? Well, we can see the Bitfinex open interest and futures chart over here continues to rise towards the upside. This has been, a bit of a guideline or cheat code to see what's happening within the market. And this purple just keeps rising towards the upside. You can see that every time they take profits, that's actually when the market goes down, as opposed to if you focus to the rest of the markets, and you're looking at the other retail exchanges, those have mostly just been going down, showing a lack of retail interest. The retail have yet to come back into the market in a big way, and therefore we're still probably following this trajectory towards an absolute T, the purple one. That's where we're at right now. We're expecting to play catch up to the other cycles, right? Things should accelerate very, very soon into October, November, and we focused a whole lot on this, right? Looking at these various different cycles. We also looked at how deep the corrections have been within each of the corrective phases within this bull run and how long they've lasted. Now, this has been both the deepest and the longest correction within this bull market, the 2023, 4, and 5 bull run, whatever it is you want to call it, but essentially marking the lows over here from call it the end of 2022. So we essentially marking that as the end of the bear market, start of the bull market, because prices never went back down there again. We saw 33% downward turn, right, from the high to the low. That's the deepest correction, being the 5th correction. Now, this is also the longest correction because in terms of time, this correction has already been 208 days long, right? Very, very, very long. If we look at the other corrections over here, some of the longer corrections were 102 days. But what happens if you just consider this the 2nd and the 3rd correction all to be one correction, right? Maybe that's the case. Maybe we should just consider this one correction, at which point this was 192 days long before making new highs. And again, to remind you, how long is this one over here? This one is currently 208 days long, which is an even longer correction. You can see what happens next, right? When you do leave that trading range, you lead into a pretty rapid move towards the upside. So you want to be adequately positioned before something like that happens. Very quick moves towards the upside, short correction, next big move towards the upside. So I'd anticipate that you're probably going to see something similar. So of course, we've been following pretty extensively the pullback levels, right? We said, high probability zone for a bottom is going to be over here at the 0.5 level that on your fib taken from the high to, or the low to the high of this recent move. That's 59,500. But if we do start to reject from some key levels over here, I should probably bring this chart up. If we do start to reject from some key levels over here, there is a possibility for one more sweep down, and that's why I put a question mark around that high low, because it's not confirmed yet. That would mean $57,500. The reason it's so important to focus on Bitcoin and keep watching this is because this will help you to decide when to allocate into the other coins, right? So when Bitcoin was putting in a bit of a bottom over here, we were bidding up a bunch of the meme coins, and that's why we benefited off of this short move towards the upside. Now, you've seen the sizable gains that were made in just a very short amount of time for Bitcoin to move from here to here. Now, again, I do want to remind you, if we go back to one of these charts and we look at these corrective phases, and you ask yourself, if the meme coins can rally like that in such a short little move, right, from literally here to here, what happens when you leave this trading range and risk returns and Bitcoin does that? How high will those meme coins go? And also let me know in the comments, what are going to be your top picks, right? Let me know your top. I'm going to give you, I know you can't help yourself. I always say, give me your number one pick, but you always give more than one. So I'm going to let you give me top two picks for the meme coin cycle. Which two would you hold for the next 6 to 12 months? Let me know in the comment section. We got Miggles, the Coinbase cat on base, Mog. We got Pachita. Let me know in the comments over there. I want to see what your guys' picks are. Brett. We got a whole bunch of coins over here. Someone said XPX. Okay, Miggles, Crash, Pepe, Popcat, Whiff. Let's see, Brett. I just want to see the sentiment, guys, what you're sort of looking at. Pay, Turbo. Okay, Trump with hat. All right, okay, let's see where the mind share is at. We're going to get into that in just a moment. But nevertheless, that's what we're looking at. If you do reject from here, which I said was a possibility, you can see straight into that red line that we had marked off over there. No surprise, price pulling back over here. If it continues down, watch for the move into that $57,500 region. This is where you want to allocate in a big way. I believe that's probably going to be your last buying opportunity before new all-time highs and price rallies aggressively out of that zone. So we do need to keep an eye out on that. And the only thing that would change that, as mentioned, is going to be what happens at the interest rate decision at the next FOMC meeting. And the clue that we'll get to that is going to come, of course, from the CPI coming out on Thursday, right? Now, price is currently capped between the 200 EMA on the top side and the 200 EMA on the bottom side. Whenever I see something like this, I know that there's a high pressure situation brewing and a big move is about to come, right? So watch as price comes down. If you continue to hold up over here within these regions, maybe you don't even get that sweep down into the lower region that we've marked out. That's why we said high probability bounce in at the 50% level, lower probability as you actually come down into the 57.5 and then recover, right? Final shakeout, price recovers, builds up pressure between those EMAs and MAs, and then rips towards the upside. Right now, we're still below the RSI, which means the RSI is going to start to trend down. And of course, you do have a rejection. Look at that candle, yesterday's candle, rejecting from the 200 MA. So that is a bit of a warning sign. Keep an eye out on that. Of course, it makes it challenging to trade the market when you have this type of chop. So marking it off level to level, the level to reclaim over here is right away, just above where price is at right now. 62,585 is your mid-range on the 4-hour time frame. Okay. So what would help Bitcoin to push up is if the DXY rejects from here. You can see it finding a little bit of pressure coming back into this pivot level, also as underside resistance over there. We're waiting for a breakdown after this big move towards the upside. If that does come, that should provide risk back into the crypto market. So we have to look at ETH as well, right? Bitcoin dominance rising, ETH BTC dropping over there, and you have Vitalik even bull posting. Ethereum is good. That is his best approach to getting Ethereum back towards the upside over there. Ethereum is good on a big ETH, a massive ship over there. And ETH is a ship, right? But a sinking ship at the time being. It's going to take a lot to change course for this coin, but you're very close to the bottom over there. So again, in terms of percentages before hitting the lower pivot level, you know, another 6% of downside pain is possible for ETH before it does start to rip. And if ETH rips, well, then we expect total 3 to also rip even harder towards the upside. At the moment, you can see what's currently happening. Lows, higher low. You had the previous lower high, you broke above that, creating a higher high, higher low, and you're just chopping about here, looking for continuation. The yellow zone over here is where the action happens. That's where you see things really rally. And again, I just want to remind you, the market's revealed its hand at which altcoins or which meme coins are going to be the best performers just from this short little move, right? They've decided, they've picked their coins. We have to have a look at a whole lot of other coins as well. Some of the ones that have not yet moved, but may present you with a wonderful opportunity. So let's talk about the meme coin super cycle and why Max Pain is likely to be continuation of this meme coin cycle. I guess a quick summary from my own thoughts is that, you know, the majority of people have come into the market previously thinking that you have to be on the far right side of the IQ scale, meaning the higher side, the 160, 170 on the IQ scale, to pick the best technology, having a 10, 15-year vision for what comes next. But internet culture seems to be much stronger, right? Unfortunately, the masses are not on the far right side of the IQ scale. Let's just be honest, guys. Let's just be honest. You probably have an IQ of 80. That's the reality. Let's just be honest. That means let's just play on this side over here on the far left side of the IQ scale. And that's meme coins. That's probably why this is going to continue. And also, we know that the smartest people in the world think that for the most part, crypto is too risky. So it's probably not us, right? I'm sure some of you out there are very smart, but we're not the type that are investing in things that are 15, 20 years out other than Bitcoin. We're looking at things for now. We want to make money right now. So most meme coin traders are allocating almost entirely to trench coins that won't make it more than a month or two. What are trench coins? Trench coins are, you know, the low caps that they think could be the next big whiff, could be the next big Dogecoin, Pepe, etc. These are the super low caps, you know, things that are like probably for the most part sub $10 million market cap, and they're allocating too big. That's a problem. You're putting too much money in these coins. It's fine to play with those things. I myself have made a lot of money on some of these extremely low caps, but you have to know when those things come to an end, right? We milked it for everything it's got between January and March of this year, and we made a lot of money. All of us made huge money, but that phase has passed, right? It's now more about the larger cap memes. So we'll talk about that again. So they put it into the trench coins that won't make it. Max pain for them is that the large to mid cap memes, which any retail trader would just log on to an exchange and buy, that those outperform, right? Those outperform the ones they think that they on the inner circle, the guys getting into the trenches, they're in the inner circle, they're getting the early alpha, they're in all the Telegram groups, but meantime, those trench coins, unfortunately, don't last very long. You need to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to run, right? You guys know the saying, you know the song. Therefore, those are the ones that you need to hold them for very short amounts of times, fold them, and then run as quick as possible. Those are those types of coins, right? New waves of retail will seek to emulate what they've seen others be successful with, which is meme coins. That's probably why the masses will come to the meme coins. They're going to see the life-changing gains that occurred in the meme coins. We've spoken a lot about the cultiness that comes within these sectors. You guys are not that dumb, but these guys, most of them are too dumb to ever sell, right? They the type that they buy these meme coins. This is the cult-like nature. They buy these meme coins and they always raise the bar. First it's going to 50 billion, then it's 100 billion, then it's 150. You know to continue to watch the Kyledoops show, because I'm going to tell you when we reach the end of the timing cycle, and we don't care what the market cap of each of these coins are or what the targets are. We know that when we start to reach near the end over here, we're bailing out of all positions, no matter how cult-like it may feel, right? So both the trenches and altcoin holders get outperformed simultaneously, and that is the max pain scenario, right? And you got a lot of people starting to identify this, right? So even if you hate meme coins, this is why you probably should buy them, as per Yano over here. Not because they're the best risk to reward play, although that's one reason that you should look at them, but because they go up in a bull market and you'll be so angry that it will consume you. It will consume you if you don't allocate. If you don't have some positions, it'll probably consume you. We saw what happened with the NFTs in 2021. This is likely to be bigger than that, right? The angriest crowd won't be the no-coiners, right? The angriest crowd in 2021 were the people that had no exposure to the NFTs, and they just saw all these weirdos that were buying pictures on the internet, which you could simply just right-click, copy, paste, and save the NFT, but they're paying exorbitant fees for it, and it kept going up, and eventually it crashed, right? So it will be the crypto natives as well who don't own memes, those who are in it for the tech, right? Those people who are got the 10 to 15-year vision, the people that are sitting at the 160 on the IQ scale, they're going to be very, very angry, because intelligence should be rewarded, right? If you are super smart, if you know more than other people, they should work for you and you should earn much more than them. But that's not going to be the case. It's going to be the normies that are going to make most of the money in the meme coin sector, and already are, right? We're already seeing that take place. So here is one person that's probably high up on the IQ scale, Crypto Banter. If any of you go back and look into his history, you'll know that this is a smart guy, very, very smart, and he's capitulated. He's joined the dark force of the meme coin sector. Hard to say which is mogging harder in the merry-go-round, cats, dogs, or mogs. He's been mogged. Guys, he's been mogged. I've also been mogged. I have my mog glasses over there. You can see in the background. So some of us have also been mogged. Let's just zoom out. There we go. Can have a look on the top of the screen over there. And consequently, seeing a lot of the masses come into the space. The mind share for memes is really, really gaining traction, right? So dips are going to be for buying. There's going to be opportunities. We're going to have a look at the charts in just a moment. The charts still don't lie, guys. The chart will show you where to enter. It's a beautiful thing when it comes to technical analysis, how it maps out the psychological levels, at least on the higher caps, right? I can't really speak for, coins that are sub $10 million market cap, but things that are sitting in the hundreds of millions to billions, they're going to respect the levels when we look at the tier, and that's how you're going to time your entry. So we can also talk about the cat dominance, right? We've spoken about the possibility of this cycle. This has been months in the making, that cats will likely flip dogs in terms of mind share, and you'll probably see that cat coins will start to outperform. One of the cat coins is MOG, right? We saw it yesterday flip Floki for the first time, which is pretty big. And if you have a look over here, dog meme total market cap is sitting at $36 billion. It represents 1.58 8% of the total crypto market cap. Now, you always want to think about this. How much dominance, how much mind share will move into these dog meme coins, right? And usually it only comes towards the end. I always speak about the Pareto principle. The Pareto effect is the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of your gains are probably going to be made in the final 20% of the bull run. And that's probably where you're going to see this dominance shoot up from 1.58% to maybe 4 or 5% of the entire crypto market cap. Keep in mind, that means it's stealing share from all the other sectors within crypto, while simultaneously the overall market cap is also increasing in price, which simply means the floodgates open to massive amounts of new money coming into the market. Now, cat meme total market cap is 3.8 billion versus dogs at 36 billion, and it represents only 0.13% of the total crypto market cap, which is, of course, significantly less. So imagine, ask yourself, how high will some of these cat coins go if this does even reach 1%? While 1%, means you're gaining market share from the total 100% pie, while simultaneously that pie is anyway growing and expanding due to new money coming into the market. So that currently means that dogs are valued at 10x premium to cats, despite being near equal peers to cats. We know that the cats rule the world, right? In Asia, 26% of households own cats versus only 32% who have dogs. In the US, 47 million households own cats versus 65 million dogs, and the annual average spend on cats is $1,500 versus $2,500 on dogs. But so this, in terms of relation to how many cat versus dog people there are, means cat people have more money and are willing to spend more money. Guys, just run with it. Just run with it. Like, I know how this sounds, right? I know how this sounds. You let me know in the comments, what is your favorite cat coin? And if you appreciate this analysis and show, please do smash the like button, right? So he says there's no compelling reason why dog coin should be valued at 10x premium. It's crazy, right? How the hell can you be paying 10 times more for a dog coin when, those are the dinosaurs? They've already been around the block. This is cat season. We're here for the cats now. So he says, expect cat dominance to grow from 0.13% to what I just said, right? At least 1% of the total crypto market cap. And that's driven by dog to cat meme market cap delta convergence, people rotating from the dog coins because they're not moving as quick as the cats into the cats. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Especially the more we speak about this, right? Cat memes benefiting disproportionately from an overall meme dominance re-rating. And we've only ever known dogs, never cats, right? We've never known the cats when it comes to the crypto market. This is something new. This is something trendy, and this is something that could absolutely fly. So we need to keep our eyes on the right coin. So you can have a look at this, a little bit deeper dive from Hold the Scan. Great week for memes this week. Here's a comparison of the supply with diamond wallets versus new wallets. Finish. Now, what on earth is he talking about? Well, if you go through to the legend at the bottom, you have a diamond wallet. There's been no sells or transfers in the last 90 days. These are the diamond hands, right? Just think of it like that. These are the diamond hands, the people that are in it for the long run. They understand this meme coin super cycle. They understand that they're not here for the quick in and out trade, but instead they're here to hold this cyclically, exactly like I've spoken about over here. We're at the inflection point when risk is about to return into the market in a massive way. We're in the purple line and we're about to mark up big, right? Bigly over here towards the upside. And we simply want to establish positions as risk comes back at the perfect time. And we want to hold until the next local top forms, right? And these guys understand that. So if you look at the percentages, the dog with hat, of course, has one of the biggest percentages over here with 21.48% of the supply being diamond hand holders. I guess you can kind of argue some of these may have been late comers because it's pulled back quite a bit. I think that the more interesting ones to look at are the ones that have been trading up near all-time highs and yet still continue to hold a high ratio. Like Giga, right? Giga Chad, 18.62%. This has been one of our top picks. We got in well ahead of time. We're already up, I think, over 300% on this position, which is absolutely wonderful over there. And then you can also see the actual dollar value. So we expect that these will increase in terms of diamond hand holders. Other special mentions go out to Giko, Michi. We have Billy Retardio. This is also one of my picks. Lock-in, one of my picks. Many, also one of the picks. We have... let's see, what else do we have in terms of our picks? So those are the ones in our picks. And then you got some special mentions which are working their way up the ranks. 𝗕𝗲𝗢, Smoking Chicken Fish, Sigma, 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗕𝗓, and then we got 𝗕𝗫𝗄𝗅 and Change My Mind. So guys, make your picks very, very carefully. Look at this. You can see this is the space we're in, guys. This is the space we're in. This is how you're going to tell your grandchildren that you became a multi-millionaire. The meme coin millionaire. Many of you will get this tattoo, meme coin millionaire, right? So we need to start to adequately position ourselves, right? Now, Murad has probably had the biggest mind share when it comes to the space lately. Recently, I actually saw a tweet with how much mind share he has. He's now moved up to number 11 in the ranks, right? My theory is I'm going to kind of time it. Remember the, the fall from glory. I'm going to wait for the fall from glory. I'm going to time it alongside this. I'm going to wait for Murad to, timing wise for this to reach peak euphoria somewhere around here towards the end of the cycle. I'm going to wait for Murad to move up into, let's say, the top 3. Maybe it takes number 1 pick, and he'll probably hold it there for quite a while. And then that's where we're going to start to find a way to offload. So we had many parallels when it comes to our picks over here. He has Giga, I have Giga, Popcat, we have Popcat. We got into that early. Mog, I think he recently added this to the list. This has been one that we've held for a long time. The others we don't have. We've had Bitcoin. He's added 𝗕𝗲𝗢 over here. This is simply just looking at the metrics. And if you look at this, this is a market cap to holders ratio of, how many people are basically holding more than $10 worth. Now, you want a distributed pool, right? Typically speaking, the higher this market cap to holder ratio is, with each individual wallet holding more than $10, the more distributed and unlikely this is to be manipulated by whales, right? So that's a good way to think about it is, there's a lot of people with less money in, which is probably better for the project because most people are not going to bail out for, only if they put in $10, they're not going to bail out of the position because now they made another $10 and their position's up 100%. These guys are going to evangelize and spread the gospel of memes because they want much more money than that. They want to take $10, hoping that, it's going to be $10,000. They're looking for these 1,000 to 10,000x insanity gains. And this is one way that you can find good picks, right? Look at that ratio and you can make your own spreadsheet. I'm sure there's a way that you can make your own spreadsheet. So many of the coins that we have over here, remember a lot of these coins will chop and bounce about, right? You're going to see the market caps or at least the market cap to holder ratios fluctuate. So you do have to understand when it's time to take profit on some of these. I will update you. Now, with that being said, I guess we'll get to the meme coins in just a bit. I recommend as well that certain ones that are, larger caps that have these high ratios, these become fair game to start to build low leverage, long positions on to obviously have greater exposure to the market and you can capitalize on the bigger moves. So I did open up my account again after a long time. I actually forgot to close these positions, some of them on 𝗕𝗥. Luckily, some of them are still up quite a lot. We still have 𝗕𝗲 up 35%, but I'm ready to start to allocate again. We're going to start to build leverage long positions. So that's going to happen this week. Please go through to the link in the description below. A lot of these trades we're going to take on 𝗕𝗥. Click that link over there because you do get a 20% deposit bonus. So if you put in $10,000, they're going to give you $2,000, which you can use to trade with and just basically put that in on leverage. It's free money for you. Use that link below. A lot of the trades that we're going to take are going to be on 𝗕𝗥. So the rest of the week, we're going to do a lot of research. I'm going to look at your coins. I see you guys say 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓 the bull. We have Dog Chain, Omnom. We have so many different options over here. So I love it. I love to see the community excited and strong for meme coins. I do genuinely believe that this is where the majority of the money is going to be made. And that's actually why, if you do go into Whale Room, you'll notice that I've made such a heavy meme coin portfolio, right? This is the overall crypto portfolio, which I'm going to be holding for the entirety of the cycle. Let's just find it over here. And when you find it, you'll notice that it's very, very heavily skewed towards the meme coin. Where is this? Here it is. There we go. You'll notice how many meme coins I hold, right? This is by design, right? It wasn't a mistake. I did this by design. As these coins move up, right, the big gainers I've had this week, of course, Mog. We have GigaChat, Popcat. These have been some of the big gainers. I told you before, probably at about 25%, 30% of my portfolio in meme coins. I wouldn't be surprised if these continue to rise and we go into the meme coin cycle, that at some point I may have 65 to 70% of my whole portfolio being meme coins. Now that's where it will come to a point where you have to be smart, right? We allocate as left on the IQ scale, but we take profit as if we're on the far right side on the IQ scale, meaning we're smart about it, and we have to still balance that pie chart out. So we're going to have a great journey together, guys. We have a long way to go. Again, just a visual representation and a reminder of where we are. We're only about halfway through this bull market. Please join each and every single day. Do not leave. There's going to be ample opportunity. And then if you want to really get your bang for your buck and get the most out of it, jump into 𝗲𝗏𝗡, right? This is where all the alpha's at. Jump into 𝗲𝗏𝗡. There's a link in the description below. The prices 100% will rise, just like the rest of the market. So you're probably better off getting in now rather than later. So with that being said, let's get into some of the coins, right? Let's have a look. The market, of course, pulling back, a little bit of profit taking over here, but you're likely to see these memes find support and start to bounce very, very, very quickly. So this all presents a wonderful opportunity, right? Do I think Bonk will make all-time highs? Yes, I do. I think most of these coins will continue to go into all-time highs. I don't necessarily think Bonk will be the top performer, but this is just to give you perspective, right? That alone gives you a 100% move. Are you going to get a 100% move out of Bitcoin? That's the question. Are you? Where would Bitcoin have to go to give you a 100% move? If you're good at math, it should be pretty simple, right? Into that $120 territory, 120,000, excuse me. So $125,000 would give you a 100% move. But if Bitcoin really moved that hard, how much is going to go into these coins, right? So we spoke about it. We said we have to look at some of the cats. Here's PopCat pulling back. Now you got some key levels, right? No surprise because the mind share was highest yesterday. So no surprise that you're going to see pullbacks over here. Mark at the various different levels. You're finding support right now at the 50% level. Ultimately, if this does start to catch a bid, it should do it right about where price is currently. You don't want to break below this little order block over here, which is in at price-wise $1.13. Okay. If you do lose that level, if you break below that, you might be coming all the way back down into the next major support, which is around that $1 mark. That's your next zone to reaccumulate in PopCat. Okay, Giga Chad, we can also mark out the various different levels. Let's quickly grab our fib tool. We're just going to go from the origin of the move to the top over there. And we have support right now at the 0.382 level. If you do lose that, you got your 50% level over here. With the meme coins, one thing I'll tell you is, you're going to have a lot of inefficiency candles based on the big moves towards the upside. Inefficiency candle, also known as a fair value gap, essentially marks from the wick of the prior candle, which is going to be over there, to the wick of the following candle. That is your fair value gap, that box, right? You can see it's wicking into the fair value gap over here. You expect support to be found in those fair value gaps. It's just a question of how deep it's going to go, which is where you can use your fib as a little bit of a guideline, focusing on the 0.382 and then the 0.5 level as major zones of support. All right, let's continue. So I mentioned that, I'd look at some that are in opportune zones, and I don't think I've run too hard. I think that one of the blue chip ones that you probably must have in your portfolio, and I say that with caution, right? Because I don't have any secret insider info. I don't know, guys. I am looking at various different metrics, just like you. I look at things like this, I look at things like this. Well, not this one over here, this one over here. I look at all these types of things and I try and come up with a bit of a thesis of where price may go and how strong the community is, just judging by sentiment. And then I line up the chart. So I can't say as a guarantee, but I believe this could be one of the best blue chips that you probably want in your portfolio, and that is MOG, right? So MOG levels that you're looking at over here, let's just quickly move that up. If you do put in a local top over here, you're going to be looking at it coming down to the 0.382, and the levels that you're looking at, it's a long number, guys. It's a long number, so you're probably better off marking it off on your own chart, but the number is last digits is going to be 142420889. Okay, that's it, right? That's a long number. It's a super long number over there. So watch as things pull back. Remember what I said over here. Sometimes you can keep it as simple as this, right? Sometimes you can use Bitcoin as your guide. Expect that if Bitcoin does do this, these memes are going to get hit very, very hard. But if you can time that next major low, right, whether it's here or whether it's here, that's where you start to allocate. Leave some dry powder on the sides. Don't over allocate. You shouldn't be 100% into memes. That's insane. You should be relatively diversified because many of these memes do go to zero. And typically by focusing on things like this, the market cap to holder ratio, when that's higher, it's less likely. Now, yes, they can probably make a bot, that would buy up a whole bunch of $10 wallets, but it's unlikely. It's a technological nightmare. A lot can go wrong in that type of an environment. And, with the wallet tracking technology that's out there now, it should be relatively easy to trace it back to one source. So chances are most of these are relatively unique. So I think Mog is one that you have to have in. And the other one that I haven't written off yet is Brett, right? I think that Brett could do super well. And part of the reason why is I think that the base narrative is heating up. If you go through onto my Twitter account, which is over here, please do make sure you follow me on Twitter. We've broken the 100K mark. Thanks to each and every single one of you. By the way, we gave away like 10 free Whale Room memberships when we broke the 100K mark. But if you go through to this, I've been dropping a lot of alpha and tweets. And this is one of the things you need to look at, right? Base is currently one of the most popular layer 2 networks right now. Remember, they're going to on-ramp the majority of the users, at least within the US, because they're compliant, regulated, etc. And it's a great on-ramp for US citizens, which we know have a lot of money. It's shown remarkable growth on all metrics, that being base chain, with increases in active addresses, transaction counts, throughput, and that reflects that the blockchain's actual compute capacity is now all at all-time high. It's playing its role in helping ETH obviously drop their transaction fees, and Phantom just added base chain beta. I think I have something on that, which I'll show you in a moment. I said my higher beta play. Remember, Phantom is the wallet that everyone uses for meme coins. So it's going to be easy now for them to move from Solana to Base. And I think some of these coins will heat up as well on Base eventually, right? Especially in the final phase of the bull. That's where I think that Coinbase is a stock and Base chain will heat up a whole lot. So my high beta play on Base is exposure to Brett, right? That is the leverage bet play. So let me just grab this other tweet over here. I have it somewhere. There we have it. So this is what you're seeing now, right? There it is. Phantom wallet becoming one of the best wallets out there. They've added ETH, Matic or Polygon. You have Bitcoin even. You can now store your Bitcoin over there. And then you, of course, have Base. So the beauty of this as well, which just reminds me, is that you can connect this as well to a ledger. So if you go through below and you want to get a ledger, there's a ledger link over there. Click that. That means that you can basically trade all of these assets whilst having your ledger as the final point of security. So I got another ledger now. This is the Ledger Stacks. There we have it. There's the Ledger Flex, excuse me. You can put a whole image on it and everything. So I've got a 1 billion little cyberspace image on mine, like a little NFT thing. Use it, don't use it, it's up to you. But if you want to remain super safe, this works with Bluetooth compatibility. I can highly, highly recommend it. And I think that Phantom as a wallet is probably now going to start to, overtake a whole lot of these coins. So I think that, how long have we been on this? This is 42 minutes. I don't want to go any longer. Thank you all so much for watching. Let's cut over there. Sign up to 𝗕𝗥. That's where we're going to take a lot of the trades. And I'll see all of you later on Whale Room for the live session. Have a great day, everyone, and cheers for now.